Hello everybody, thanks for tuning in. Today I'm going to show you how to realign your disc brake caliper where things are slightly misaligned, meaning the wheel can't spin freely. So I'm going to spin the wheel and you can see for yourself, you can hear some scraping hopefully on the camera, but you can see how unfreely that wheel moves. It's been really restricted. If you get yourself a bit of white card, a bit of an envelope, maybe a tissue like I've got, you can actually see the gap. Can you see the white appearing? To the left of the disc and to the right of the disc, there's virtually nothing there at all. So we can see that the caliper is too far to your left. It's pushed over too much and things are no longer in alignment. So what we need to do, if this is the issue for you, you need to undo a couple of the caliper bolts to realign the caliper, but not just yet. If you're looking at the video thinking, well, I haven't mucked about with my caliper and this is happening and it wasn't happening the other day, then the issue probably actually isn't your caliper, it's actually the wheel. If I just take this out of the holder quickly and just show you what I mean, if your wheel isn't completely aligned to the bike, then you're going to have the same situation. And you see here, there's a perfect gap, even gap, this side and this side of the wheel, and it lines up perfectly with this mudguard hole here as well. So that's another way of checking. So we know that the wheel is perfectly in alignment. So actually the issue is indeed the caliper. But again, if you haven't moved your caliper lately, then yeah, that may well be your issue. What you can do is turn your bike upside down and safely, not on gravel or anything that can scratch your handlebars, the grips or the saddle, and just loosen your skewer or the axle bolt if you've got that. Just take the wheel out of these dropouts, which are the two retaining parts for the wheel, and then just pop it back in again. Again, we're upside down, so gravity will help, and just make sure things are nicely aligned and central. Then you can tighten things up and just see if the wheel is still getting stuck. If it is, then yeah, my money is on the caliper bolts, and this is how we fix it. Most of the time, rear brake calipers only have 2 bolts, but again, most of the time, the fronts have 2. If you have 2, please don't undo all 4. 2 of them are going to be kind of a mounting system to hold the caliper to the fork itself, whereas the other 2 are to hold the caliper to the mount, which are the ones we want to undo. So make sure you're undoing the correct ones, and this is what you do. Don't undo them entirely by removing them. Wow, that was really loose. But just do it enough that the caliper can move freely. And the fact that it was easy to undo clearly shows someone has been mucking about with this caliper at some point. Okay, I've undone it enough on both of them, so this is freely moving. Off camera, I'm going to squeeze, in this case, the front brake as hard as I can. And look what happens to the caliper on camera. There we go, all that movement. What that's doing is it's closing the brake pads. This will work with hydraulic and cable brakes exactly the same way. It's holding the brake pads to the disc and basically self-calibrating. So what you need to do is to hold that brake lever tight against the handlebar grips. Keep it there, so we're keeping the braking on. And with your free hand, you're now going to retighten those 2 bolts you just undid. Now, they will be done up properly to torque in a moment, but I'm just going to do them up fairly tight for now so they don't move anywhere. It's pointless doing them completely tight because there might be some minor adjustment needed. And I'm going to come back round to the front of the bike to see if that's fixed the problem. Okay, so moment of truth. I'm going to get my paper again and just see what the gap is like. Well, we can see it now this side, and we can see it this side as well. So it looks like we've got things correctly aligned. Let's get the wheel to spin. Well, I would say that's fixed it. What a difference. So there you go. If your wheel isn't spinning as freely as it used to, and maybe you've mucked about with the calipers, you just need to make sure you go through that process and things are back to normal. Now, if you've got scraping, like an intermittent scraping, like there's a bit of a buckle to the disc, that may well be the case. Have a look at my other videos. I'll show you how to do that. You now know how to realign your wheel as well. If that was a problem, what we're going to do is we're going to tighten these bolts up properly to spec, and then we can get back on the riding. And there we are. Job done. Thanks for watching. Remember to like, remember to subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Bye for now.